I watched the Euros 2024 like everybody across the world, and in my opinion it was probably the most boring tournament under the sun. Cue the music. So why do I think it was a boring tournament? So generally in the group stages, you have strong teams paired with weaker teams. That's drawn in the groups because seeded teams against weaker teams. And generally if you play well within yourself, you can make it to the next round without raising much of a sweat. So the type of football that they do put on display is extremely boring. If you take two of the favorites that had come into this tournament, England and France, they qualified for the round of 16, and I'll take England first. England qualified for the round of 16, having scored 2 goals, winning 1, drawing 2. And they finished top of the league, top of their group. In fact, the previous Euros, Gareth Southgate's team had done exactly the same thing. So it was extremely boring football, and what had happened was that pundits across the UK and fans alike were extremely disenfranchised or disheartened with what they were seeing and not happy. And obviously if you're spending a ton of money traveling all the way to Germany and you're paying for tickets to go watch the game, you're paying for accommodation, travel, meals, etc., you're probably putting out a lot of money, outlaying a lot of cash. And for you to get down there and watch the group stages and watch the crap that was thrown up would probably make you want to throw up. And if I go to France, again, co-favorites with England to go all the way through to the finals and actually win this thing, they were slightly worse. So they won, they had the exact same record as England. They won 1 and drew 2. And the funny thing is, they scored 2 goals as well. One of the goals was an own goal, and the second goal was a penalty taken by Mbappe. Now, if you're looking at the type of flair players that both these teams had, they should have been playing much more entertaining football. But in fact, it was staid, it was boring, it was playing against a low block and an inability to play through the low block to be able to score goals. No wonder the fans and pundits alike had a go at this England team. But it's not only England and France, everybody else, except probably the Spanish, really were boring to watch. I think one of the other teams that were probably good to watch and exciting to watch was Austria, because they played ragnick football, they played high pressing ball, they pressed the ball, and it was very entertaining, where everything else was a complete snoozefest. And maybe that's the way football is going, including international football, is that if you have a well-drilled team that can play together as a team, defend the lines, get back into your defensive positions and attack, and maybe attack on the break, the likelihood of you being successful in these tournaments is quite high. And maybe that's the way football is going. You know, the days of Brazilian flair or the days of Spanish, Dutch, French flair, maybe all of that doesn't exist anymore, purely because of the fact that if you come up against a well-drilled team, you are going to struggle. Now, let me not get onto the round of 16 because that was an even bigger joke. And again here, I'll look at the firm favorites, England, who needed the last 30 seconds before the whistle was going to blow, that they got a goal from Bellingham and managed to stay in the tournament and then move on. I mean, I lost count of the number of penalty shootouts that happened between the round of 16 and the quarterfinals before we got to the semifinals. In fact, I think 3 of the quarterfinals were all penalty shootouts. There was only one that went through on merit, and I think that was the Spanish again. And the reason why I'm saying I think is because a lot of it is so bloody boring that I fell asleep most of the time watching this crap. So the reason why I find it so frustrating watching players of today play is these players are the most highest paid players, well drilled, well paid, have got everything in the way of information that will get one over on their opponents. And maybe I'm doing them a disservice, because if the talented players have got all of that, the less talented players have got exactly the same information. Hence the reason why they probably can play against more talented players and nullify the individual talent. It's only the individual talent that comes through at the end that will get you that goal, that will get you that moment of brilliance. And that's probably what helped Gareth Southgate, because the fans were turning against him. The pundits were turning against him. And it was making it very difficult. Now, I don't mind if your opinion is based on the game. If your opinion is what you see in front of you and what you see what's happening. But where I do draw the line is that when your opinion becomes personal. And a lot of the insults and the brickbats that were thrown at Gareth Southgate then started to become personal. And I think you should leave personal out of it if you're going to criticize Gareth Southgate. And the fact that he's actually now made the final. So he's the first England manager to make a final outside of England. He's taken them to 2 finals and 1 semi-finals, if I'm not mistaken, in 3 major competitions. And if you think about it, he's probably going to get a knighthood no matter what happens on Sunday against Spain. Purely because of the fact that he's done so much. But it's the style of football. And it's the fact that he dithers and he doesn't do certain things the way he's supposed to do. And he doesn't make the changes that irritates the pundits in the United Kingdom. But again, like I said, it's probably difficult. You're playing against teams that are as well drilled as what you are, and it's very, very difficult to break them down. But here's the issue that I do have. So here's your next generation, and these are the guys that's supposed to be taking over the crown of Ballon d'Or winner that has been won so eloquently and with such pride by Messi and Ronaldo. But these players are not, what I've seen of them in this tournament does not shout Ballon d'Or winners. So your Bellinghams of this world, your Mbappes of this world, neither of them did exceptionally well to put themselves in the shop window as the next group of players that's going to be vying for Ballon d'Or year in and year out. And to me, that is a concern. And who knows, maybe again, I'm doing the guys a disservice, but Mbappe, yes, he broke his nose, but he's done practically nothing in the tournament. Bellingham, yes, did save England, but again, if you look at the so-called quality that he's supposed to have, didn't do much. And if you take Messi and Ronaldo, you always knew that they would be brilliant in what they did, and they would be fantastic in their output. I'm not talking Ronaldo now. I'm talking Ronaldo when he was at his peak. The Ronaldo now, yes, is at an age now where he is struggling, and there's going to be a time when he has to retire, because what the mind wants to do, the body cannot. And I'm not throwing any shade on Ronaldo. He's been a brilliant player, and I'm probably going to do a video about him soon, between him and Messi. But there comes a time when you just need to, when you know that you're not the best in the land anymore. So the pretenders to the crown have just done that. They've flattered to deceive, and they still would be pretenders. Put it this way, from my perspective, I'm actually glad the tournament is coming to an end and that we're going back into club football, because like I said, it has been exceptionally boring. It's very seldom I fall asleep in front of the TV watching sport. But I can't remember when I managed to stay awake through excitement watching a game. Last night's game was very, very good against England against Netherlands. But the question you have to ask is, was it England that played exceptionally well? Was it England that did very, very well? Or was it the Netherlands that was poor? Or am I doing England a disservice in that they generally do start off slow, and Gareth Southgate has shown that they do start off slow, but they get stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger as the tournament progresses. The Netherlands have got a habit of falling at the last hurdle, so I was not surprised to see them go out last night. The Spanish, surprisingly, exceptionally strong, and they've got a 16-year-old youngster who's taken all the headlines. And maybe that's your next Ballon d'Or winners for the coming years, and it's going to come out of Spain again. So, in my opinion, thank goodness the final is on Sunday. We can all enjoy the final, and whoever wins it, it's neither here or there. It's kind of much of muchness. Spaniards are looking very, very strong, and they may take the title. Or England, after a long time in winning something this prestigious, maybe it's their turn to take the title home. Either way, I really couldn't care less, because it hasn't been a great tournament at all. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Thanks for listening to my rant. This has been Insight with Zaid. Cheers.